Welcome everybody to the seasonal diet, eating what our ancestors ate when they ate it like we were evolved to do. So we are in the winter now, at a point where fruits and vegetables would not be possible for ancient humans to have in their diet. Now, if you're from a place with seasons, your ancestors would not have much access to fresh fruits at this time, of course. There are a couple wild winter berries that could be picked, which I did a video on, but really not much else like that. So for me, I'm on the challenge right now of eating no fresh fruits until the first ones start to sprout in the springtime. But that doesn't mean our ancestors did not eat any fruit at all during the winter and early spring. They could have preserved fruits, and one way to do this was drying. This includes a lot of things like grapes, apricots, dates, and so on, but pretty much any fruit can be dried. The question is, how long have our ancestors been doing this? Is it more of a modern thing? Do we need modern technology to dry fruits, or did ancient ancestors of ours do this? Well, the earliest written records and even recipes that we have recorded are from ancient Mesopotamia, 1500 BC. That's more than 3,005 years ago, and that's basically the earliest written records we have of drying fruits. But the good thing is, it really takes no technology at all to dry fruits. They could have been doing this for thousands and thousands of years before this. If a fruit is hanging from a tree and it falls off and it dries out in the sun and all the liquid and moisture gets out of it, it's still edible most of the time. Hunter-gatherers, thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years, even monkeys or animals had access to dried fruits because it literally takes no technology or invention at all. There are definitely methods, technology to dry it faster that we developed more in recent history. But really all you need to dry and preserve fruit is a dry climate and the sun. So yes, all of our ancestors had access to dried fruit, and we can eat dried fruit any time of the year. Here's one thing to think about though. In places like the Middle East, where it's sunny and dry most of the year, they could do this. They would have a lot of dried fruits in their diet. Most of you watching though are, I think, from Northern Europe, and it's absolutely not sunny and dry the whole year there. So it's totally natural for someone who has ancestors in the, Mediterranean and Middle East area to eat more dried fruit than people in the north of Europe. And we also see this in the native recipes of these places. So yeah, it's totally natural for someone from the Mediterranean to have more dried fruits in their diet than someone from the cold, rainy parts of Northern Europe. They could, of course, dry the fruits a lot easier, and we see this in the native traditional recipes a lot in these places too, though. However, there's one great thing about dried fruit, and that is once that it is dried, it lasts for a very long time, especially if stored in a cool, dry place. And my ancestors from the north of Europe had trade with the south of Europe for a very long time, and dried fruits are edible for more than long enough that it would take for my great-great-great-grandfather Olav to come down on a Viking ship, sail down to the Mediterranean, bring some apricots, some grapes, some dates, some dried fruits, all that stuff, sail it back up to Scandinavia and deal it out to the village to trade it. So yeah, even for people in the far north of Europe, they would have had access to these fruits for thousands of years, even though the fruits might not be native and don't grow anywhere near us. So yes, all these dried fruits are in our ancestral diet, and again, would be eaten mostly in the winter, but depending on your ancestry, there would be a varying amount of it.